Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm so much excited for this video and what we built in today's video. So we built an e-commerce AI shopping assistant, and this is not a normal traditional chatbot. We're going to discuss more details, and I'm just also going to show you the demo of what we built in today's video. So the normal chatbots and the traditional AI chatbots that you have been seeing people creating online, most of them are the text-based chatbots, whereby a user enters a text, it goes to LLM, and the LLM gives out an answer. For example, you say what is a map, or you just ask it a question, and then it goes to its trained data, and then it finds this question and answers. Then we went to an improved chatbots. You have seen these chatbots which have tools, okay? So whereby you ask a user asks a question, and an LLM finds that it cannot answer this question, and then it goes to tools and can request. Now these tools can access external APIs and everything, and then they again answer in a text format. So this is an improved one, okay? Because it has tools, it means it can actually has access to knowledge and all that. Now what you're going to actually build in today's video, or what I'm going to show you how to build, is going to be a modern AI chatbot with generative UI, okay? And what this means is that we are asking the AI in a text format, or we are chatting with it. The AI goes, this text goes to an LLM, and an LLM decides if it is going to just simply answer you with a text, or it is supposed to get a tool. And when it gets a tool, let's say it goes to a database or it goes to an API, and instead of just like answering with text, it gives you actually a UI. And this opens the door to millions of possibilities and creativity here, guys. Okay? So in this chatbot, first of all, we can register users in database. So here we can actually I'm just going to write here in the DB. So we can register users, we can browse and display categories, we can show items, categories, we can browse, and display products. So you can see that this AI is doing a lot, okay? It can register users when you come to the e-commerce. The normal e-commerce shopping experience is what I was looking for when I was building this. And you remember in the previous second episode, okay, so I built on top of that, and that's what we're looking for. So you register the users in the DB, you can browse and display categories, you can browse and display products, you can add items to cart and checkout, you can create payments, you can create orders, you can send emails. All this is what our chatbot actually does. So right now I have a database. Right now this is my database, how it looks like. It has 4 tables. It has the category table to store the categories. So you can see I have electronics, shop, sports, home, and furniture. Very few. And then I have also the products that have a relationship with those categories. So you can see we have wireless and all these products. And then we have order and order items. So the order will have a total amount with some order items. You see, you also have the location why you want this one to be delivered, and you have the order items, of course, and yeah. So then you have session for that user who's going to be chatting at that time, okay, that is going to be chatting at that time. And then you have the this one is called users who are actually using the chatbot. So today I just want to go ahead and demo for you that chatbot. It is actually hosted, of which I will go and take down because I know after this video it might just go high. The traffic might go high and you ban all my tokens. So I'm just going to start chatting with this AI, which is actually going to be now going to the tools when it is necessary. Okay, you can ask it, of course, the normal questions as usual, but I'm just going to say it, for example, hey, I want to do some shopping today. Okay, so I'm just going to say that I want to do some shopping today. So just go ahead and enter. So I just also went for the WhatsApp looking interface because I was actually looking for something like that. So you can see, hello, welcome to Chat Shop. I'm excited to help you find what you're looking for today. To get started, I will register you in our own system. Could you please provide me with your full name, email address, and your phone number? So you can just go ahead and you're like, okay, I'm just going to copy this here. And I'm just going to go ahead and I say, my name is Chitamirike Moses. You know, I always use Chitamirike. And then here, I just going to say, you don't need even to say this. You can answer in a normal way. You don't need to answer this. You can say my name. You can just say, my name is Chitamirike Moses. And then you can say, and my email is. So we need actually an actual email where we can send, because it's going to send emails and all those things. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for one email here. So let me just use this email. So I'm just going to use one email so that we can actually receive messages. So I'm just going to go ahead and say my email is this and my phone number is. So I'm just going to get a random phone number. Okay, so I'm just going to get. Okay, so I'm just going to answer with this. My name is Tamirike and my email is this. So perfect, and you can see it says perfect. Thank you for providing these licenses, Chitamirike Moses. Let me register you in our system right away. And you can see that welcome on board, Mr. Chitamirike Moses. You are all set. What products are you looking for today? So you can see that it has been registered. And if we check in our database right now, let me just go to the users, and I just want to go ahead and refresh. And you can see Chitamirike Moses has been created in our database. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, for example, maybe we could ask, what products do you have? What product categories? Let me just say, do you have? This would be a normal question. And when you're just like using it, feel free and ask any question, and we see what is going to give you. So you can see here, great question. Let me show you all products categories we have today. So it has this. You can go ahead and select, you say electronics, you name it, or you can actually click. And this is what you call generative UI, whereby we're not just answering with only text, we are actually answering with an interactive UI. So this UI, you can see that it is actually interactive. You have like electronics, furniture, sports, home. So I can just click on electronics, and you can see it says I want to browse products in this category. And look at this. Like we go ahead and get the oh my god. So we just go and get the shop, all the products that are inside the electronics. Okay, we get all these, and you can just go ahead and add to cart. So you can just go ahead and add to cart, and look at this. We have the cart system, guys. So I'm just going to first go ahead and add to cart. I'm just going to add this. So I have 2 items now I have in cart. I can just go ahead and check out. Look at that. So you click, the checkout is, the cart is cleared, and we want these items. Okay, so say perfect, let me add those to your cart, and you can just see that it has even calculated the totals for me. It says you have added wireless mechanical keyboard at this amount, smartwatch fitness tracker at this amount, and the total is this. And you can see it has actually displayed for us the order confirmation card with all the nice calculations. Like you have this UI, and it says type your address here. I'm just going to type the address. So at this point I'm just going to say I want to deliver this to Nairobi. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter, and now deliver to Nairobi. It is moving on and say great, let me process, and oh my god, so it has processed an order for delivery to Nairobi, and you can see it says order confirmed, and they give us our order number, and you receive an email on instant. So you can see this is Nairobi, and you see that these are items that we bought with a total amount of 349.98. And if I check in my email, we actually received an email from the chat shop. So you can see the chat shop here, order confirmation with this ID, which we actually have on the UI, the ID, the same ID. So if I click on this, you can see, hey, Chitamike Moses, your order for 3.498 has been successfully placed, delivered to Nairobi. Thank you for shopping with us. Of course, you can customize this email the way you want, but the fact is it is now sending email. And that is not all, guys. So if I go to my, so if I just go to, I don't know why I didn't open it earlier, guys. If I just go to Stripe, okay, if I just go to Stripe right now, I'm just going to hope that I still have my Stripe session. You see that it actually made a payment intent to this. Okay, so you can see that you can call, if I just go to transactions, you're going to see that we have this transaction actually. So you can see the transaction is here. A transaction of 349.98. Actually, it is this that we have in our email. 349.98. You can see it here. We didn't, of course, go ahead and confirm it, but I was trying to show you that it actually just makes an API request to Stripe, and you can actually go ahead and do the payment and process everything. So that is the chat shop, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's dive in what it takes to build actually this kind of chat shop. Okay, so let's dive in and get started. So the first thing is I actually prepared the whole entire PowerPoint for this, because I want you guys to watch this video and becomes the video going to be coming to all the time for AI integration in your system. Because if you can build this, now this opens possibilities, guys. You can generate dashboards, you can generate anything you think of to a user, and all the things that we have been waiting, the other experience we have been looking for, guys, this is it. You can do all the experience on the chat interface, and I just want to show you how this is done. So in this, we are using actually the Vercel AI SDK. And what is the Vercel AI SDK? So the Vercel AI SDK is a toolkit designed to help developers build AI-powered applications and agents with React. Okay, you can also use Vue, Vert, Node.js, and even more. So it can support both the React frameworks, even backends like Node.js and others. So the AI SDK standardizes integrating artificial intelligence models across supported providers, and they have all these, a lot of providers. Grok, think of it, Grok, DeepSeek. You know, those days you had to go to the documentation for DeepSeek. You have to go to the documentation for Anthropic to use cloud. Right now, you have one AI SDK that can communicate to all supported providers, or providers you think of, Grok, Llama, and all those ones. So the AI SDK has two main libraries, and that's why it is able to work on React, Svelte. At the same time, it can work on Node.js, Honor, Golang, all those backends. The way it can do this, it has two packages in it. The first one is the AI SDK core. And the SDK core, this is a unified API for generating text, structured objects, tool calls, and building agents with LLM. And this one has nothing to do with React. This has to do with the API, as you can hear. So you can call this at any backend. Now the second core is the AI SDK UI. And this one is a set of hooks for quicker building the chat interface, the way you saw that the chat interface is really looking so clean, so slick. And this one is achievable through the AI SDK UI. So remember that, and when we reach on integration, I'm just going to be referring to these two core packages. Now, before we go actually any further, let's talk about the integration itself. So those days you had to actually hustle and go for the documentation. You have to go and see how does the SDK works with Anthropic. So you have to go and get the API key for Anthropic. You have to go and get API key for DeepSeek, API key for OpenAI, all the keys for all the providers that you are going to actually use. So Vercel saw it, and it was a painful thing, and they brought the Vercel AI Gateway. And the Vercel AI Gateway is a unified API and a proxy service that lets developers access hundreds of AI models like OpenAI, GPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, Llama, all those providers. You can access them through a single endpoint and one API key, guys. Okay, and this simplifies the integration and the management. You're going to see this makes it to be a breeze. Okay, so just going to look at using the Vercel AI SDK, and you're going to be using this Vercel AI Gateway. So in the first episode itself, I'm showing how to get it, but it's very easy. If you just go to AI SDK here, so you can just click. So this is the AI SDK landing page. You can see there is here gateway. So you can click on this gateway, and it will take you to this page, and click on Get API Key. This will take you to your Vercel. You choose, of course, your account, and go ahead and get the API key. So I already have my key I always use. So I'm not going to go ahead, but you can just go ahead and create a key. You need to put the your credit card, but they will give you free. They don't chop you actually anything. So you can see I'm just using free credit right now. So that is the SDK. So the reason why we're using this SDK and why we're building this chatbot is that this chatbot, the difference between with the other ones, as I showed you at the beginning of the video, is that a user can actually navigate. Actually, me, I was even clicking here when I was using the chatbot. You don't even need to click. You simply need to say that you add that to my cart. So if you're just like shopping, instead of clicking on the UI, you can simply say you add the smartwatch fitness tracker, you add it to cart, and it will go ahead and add it to cart for you. Okay, so that is how smart the AI has gone by far right now. So you can just we have looked at generative UI. the best of both worlds. Most chatbots only return text, but this app returns the native UI components, and that was the catch and the reason why I want to go for this. So before we go any further, you just need to know the core blocks of this. The first core block is the user. So the user is the one who is actually prompting the system, is asking different questions, and is the one who is the center of everything. So you're asking to be registered in the DB, or you want to create an account. It helps you to create an account and all those tedious tasks that you would go, click 100 things, reset password, and do all those things. Right now, the AI is doing that for you. The second thing is the LLM, which is actually the center also. It is answering all the questions. It is helping us talk to the tools. The tools can communicate with external APIs, interact with the database, and even go beyond. Then we have the DB or the API. These are the ones which help the tools to actually access the knowledge base or the data. So if you have list of courses in database, or you have list of students in database, and a teacher or a parent is asking what is the performance of my child, and he puts the child registration number, the DB at that case or the API is going to help so much this tool to answer that question or to generate the UI. So what packages do we need? We need to install two big packages. In fact, the first one is the AI. Now this one installs the AI core that we talked about in the first place, and the AI SDK React, which installs the front end, because we're going to be using Next.js, which uses React. So we install the AI SDK React. If you're using Vue.js, we'd install AI SDK Vue. And then we install Zod, and the Zod is the only way that the LLM can communicate with the tools. So they communicate in a very structured way, and we use Zod to define that structure. So how do we get started? The first thing, of course, we need to get started. Just go ahead and clone this. Okay. The reason why I'm cloning this or giving this one, it already has a database setup. So just going to only simply don't focus on setting up the Prisma. I already have a video for Prisma setup and all that. So I'm just going to open this in a terminal here, and I will just go ahead and paste this, and I'm just going to call this ecom chatbot, maybe ecom chatbot, just like this. So this is going to go ahead and clone this. I'm just going to cd into my ecom chatbot. I'm just going to say code dot. I'll open this in a VS Code, and right now I'm just going to do two things. So the first thing I just need to do is to go ahead and install the dependencies. In fact, let me first add the .env here, .env, like this, and let's add our database URL. So I'm just going to go ahead and get another database. So I'm just going to go to Neon. Let's go here and create another project. So I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, so I think here you can't create. I'm just going to go basically to all projects. Here, I'm just going to create a new project. I'm just going to say that this is the Chatbot YouTube. Chatbot YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to choose Frankfurt. I'll go ahead and create this. So I'll just go ahead and connect and get the database URL. This is what I'm aiming to get this database URL. Let's copy this and take it to our env, and let's run pnpm install. This is going to go ahead and install this. Now, another thing that you need to go ahead is you need all different API keys that you're just going to need. It is my bad, I didn't show all those API keys, but you need a couple of API keys others. One, you need the one for AI gateway. So I showed you how to get that one from Vercel. You need another one from, so you could just go ahead and add the one for resend, for sending emails, resend for sending emails. If you're just going to build, of course, you're just not going to rebuild the whole entire the way I built it, but I'm just going to show you one process which is going to do. Then you have to go ahead and get also for let's say for what, you need to get the one for Stripe. So Stripe, you know, you get the Stripe API keys, and so you just need to get all the necessary ones. Right now, the ones you need for this example we're going to build, we're just going to need the database, and you're also going to need the AI gateway API key. So I'm just going to go ahead, pause the video, add my AI gateway API key, and then we move on. Okay, so at this point, I've added my API key inside the env. So I've showed you how to get it. Go to your Vercel, create your API key, and just go ahead and add it in here. So after showing you how we're going to do this, the generative AI thing, then you can just use concept and build the whole entire chart just like this one. Okay, you can build the chart for this one, and if you want the source code for this the chat shop that I built that looks really cool like this one, you can just go ahead and comment. I will leave, I think, a link to this source code. Okay, so let's just like move on right now. So what is the first thing? I'm just going to go back to the PowerPoint because this guides us all the way through. I'm also going to leave this link to the PowerPoint so that you can just actually refer to it for this integration. So we have cloned and we have set up our Prisma and Postgres DB in this project. We also have our AI gateway set up. So how does actually this work? Okay, so how it works, it's also with the user asking the question to an AI. Okay, and this is very important, guys, to understand how these two SDKs work. So the code looks like this, and it is something very easy. You said we have a form here with an input which says press order, say something. We have a form which has an input where a user can text or write his prompt. What is a map? So he has an input while he's writing. Now the first thing you realize that we use this use chat from the AI SDK React. This use chat from the AI SDK React gives us two important things. It gives us access to the messages. And what are the messages? Messages is the interactions, our chat, the questions and the answer that we have been sending to the AI. The use chat has it. The second thing the use chat gives us is the set message hook, or the set message function. This function is very helpful. Why? It is the only function that actually sends the messages to the AI SDK at the backend, or that sends our prompts and send them back to the backend to our AI endpoint that we have created. You can see that the set message, this automatically sends the data to the AI chat endpoint. That's why you see we have not defined any AI endpoint here, because automatically it was going to send to the AI API chat endpoint. Okay, then what happens at this? So here I was explaining what the messages. I've already explained the messages, what they are. So the current chart of messages, or an array of objects with our ID, role, and the parts. Okay, the send message you have seen to the function sends the message to the chat API endpoint, and the LLM response is accessed through the message parts array. So you can see, if you look closely on the UI, that when we get back the messages and we are mapping through the messages, the most interesting part is actually this message.parts, because this is where the LLM response, where it is actually located. So the parts can include plain text, reasoning tokens, and more that you will see later as we move on. So the second big part is actually the API endpoint itself. So the API endpoint is where the magic happens. So you send your question and the LLM will receive it from this side. Okay, so you can see here we have AI async post, and then you get the result. So like the model here is here. You specify the model. You're going to see you can even send these models. You can send them from the from the front end. You can choose which model you want, and then you send it to the this side. So they convert model to messages, and then the most important thing is we have the messages. This is why we feed our entire chat. We feed it to the LLM, and then this is how we create a tool. In our previous video, we talked about this in details on creating tools, but this is how you create a tool. You define the tool name, you describe it, you give the inputs. What are those parameters does this tool need to be able to actually work? So then you have this input schema, and then you have also the execute. When these inputs are provided, what should be done with those inputs? And then this will return a very nice object, and this object is very important, guys, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what is going to be returned for us to be able to build our generative UI. So you can see I put here some points across. The messages are received, and then we pass them to the LLM. LLM accesses the data, interprets and communicates with tools, gives it inputs if it needs them, and also gets the output back from the tools, and then the response is sent back to the UI. And this is what we tap in to generate our UI. Let's talk about now two things: the AI elements and the generative UI. So those days, building the chatbots and building the chat UIs was difficult because it has a set of unique elements that you needed. And then Vercel introduced the AI elements. An AI element is a component library on its own with a custom registry built on top of CN to help you build the native applications faster. It has pre-built components like conversation, message, and all the ones we're going to see, and we can install them through CN like this. And if you want to see why I got this prompt, if you go to the AI SDK, you go under AI elements, you're going to see that the commands are here. You can install it like this, or you can add it via CN, which I'm just actually going to do. I'm just going to install via chat. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this prompt and install all the AI elements. So you can just go and do this in our project. Go ahead and install the AI elements for building the interface more faster. The second thing that we need to understand is the generative UI, because you have seen me using this word a couple of, all the time I've been using generative UI. What actually is generative UI? So it is actually the process of connecting the results of the tool call. Remember, when you ask the LLM goes and asks the tool executes, gets back the results, and these are the results we are targeting. So the generative UI is a process of connecting the results of a tool call to a React component. And here how it works. You provide the model with a prompt or a conversation history along with a set of tools. Based on the context, the model may decide to call a tool. Let's say you said, I want to register an account. So when you say I want to register an account, the LLM realizes that it needs to use the register user tool and to go ahead and register you. So if a tool is called, it will execute and return data. This data can be passed to a React component for rendering. By passing the tool results to React components, you can create generative UI experience that's more engaging and adaptive to your needs. And ladies and gentlemen, this is so powerful to where we have reached with AI. And if you're a developer, this is a point whereby you should just be very grateful. So as you can see from here, we have a weather tool. So this weather tool displays the weather for a location. The input, it wants a location, and it executes and returns back two things: the weather and the temperature and the location. It returns three things in a very structured way. And this is calling a weather tool, right? and you can see a tool returns a structured JSON data, and this is what you are targeting to actually get. So you go ahead and build your weather card. Okay, you go ahead and build your weather card, and this card returns like the temperature, weather, location, and all that. Okay, and you can see to receive this data. So this component will display the weather information for a given location. It takes 3 props, temperature, weather, and all that. And then the generative UI, as you said, it renders the weather component. So you just go here and get the messages. And in the messages, when you get the messages, you know we have a lot of messages, but the type you want, you can see we can get type text, and you can go ahead and render the text. But we actually have the type of that tool that you called. If it was display weather, you get that tool to you get access to this tool, and this is where you can render dynamically the UI for that specific tool. We're going to be actually returning back to this when we start like building our own thing. So ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in and actually build our own. So what I want us to do is, first of all, I want us to go ahead and get like a user card. Let's say a user has been created. Okay, a user has been created, and we want to display a card that actually is with a success message plus the user information. I can just go and generate that with maybe v0. That would be help me go faster instead of just like concentrating on that. So I'm just going to say I want to create me a card. I want to create a card that I will display to a user after a successful registration. After a successful registration, okay, the card should have a message, a success message. Okay, then user ID, name, email, and phone. Okay, yeah, so something like this. So you say make it clean and sleek. Okay, and small. It shouldn't be all over the place. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this. As it's creating this card for us, I'm just going to set up a chat interface, and this is actually very easy now with AI elements. So if you go back here to AI elements, if you just go back here where we have AI elements, I just want you to drop down to where we actually have the usage. So you just scroll down. This is why you click here and we go to the usage, and the usage they give you examples. So I just want us just to use these examples that we actually have in here. So just go, note this example actually. I just want to go to this chatbot. Click on the examples. Okay, I just need example. Where is the example, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, this is the one I just want. So when you click on the chatbot, they give you here the tutorial, and this is what we want. We have already installed the the AI elements. We already have them installed. We already have the AI SDK installed. So the only thing we just want is this page. So I'm just going to copy this and bring it to our page. Do the file button already exists? No, just go ahead and dialog. What does this install? What are we installing? I've already forgotten. What were we installing? Oh, we're installing the old thing. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. Did I just like install like all? Oh, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and say dialog. No, because we already have them, so you don't need to override them. Okay, so it goes ahead and creates whatever it wants, and that's nice. So the next thing you want is just go ahead and go to our page and add this. So in our page, I'm just going to remove everything and paste in this. The chat demo like this. In fact, you could just like go ahead and create this as a different endpoint, sorry, a different component like chat UI or something, but I'm just going to add this in here. So let's continue. Then go down here, okay, and then let's create the API chat route. So I'm just going to copy this and let's go ahead and create API chat. So I'm just going to go inside the app and let's create a new file. Let's create API slash chat slash route.ts, and this is going to create for us an endpoint. So let's understand this. We have already walked through this in the PowerPoint, but let's just show. For example, we have the conversation AI elements conversation. So we have the conversation, we have the message, we have the prompt input, we have the use chat, and we have, did we actually install this? This is what I was supposed to install. I don't remember if we installed, but we have here the installation where we had this here. Supposed to go ahead and install this AI SDK. So you can see, just say clear, and let's go ahead and install this. Okay, so we have our use chat, we have the icons for copy, then we have sources, then we have reasoning. So this example is good to show you actually how to use all these components at the same time. Okay, then we have our models. I'm just going to add the one for Cloud Sonnet, and you can look at the models. They have hundreds and hundreds of models. So if you just go back to the docs actually here, and they have a lot of models right away from here, you can see they have this Sonnet. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this model actually in here. So you can add in, like using Sonnet, so you can just add in as many models as you want. So you can just add Sonnet. I saw the name here. I'm just going to say name. I'm just going to say this is going to be Sonnet. Is it supposed to be Cloud Sonnet? So you just say Cloud Sonnet 4.5 Pro, any name you want, and then you actually put the value of the of the model itself. So we just don't need the whole entire thing. I just want the name of the model, like so. So copy this. I'm just going to go here and add this here. Okay, so we have everything. So let's just like walk through this. You see, the most important thing is the messages. So whatever you do is this message, and then also is the prompt. Okay, so they gave us the prompt. You can see it is multi-line. Like this, they simplified a lot. Okay, you can even do attachments. So if we just go and start this pnpm dev, and let's go to localhost 3000. I'm just going to say localhost 3000. And the most parts that are very important here is that there are basically two parts: the conversation part, which shows the messages, and the prompt part, which is actually showing the text area where we can type things. Okay, this is the most important part. We have the prompt input, which shows the input, and then we have the conversation, which has the conversation. Inside the conversations, the important part is that we have access to messages, and these messages we're interested into the parts. Okay, here where we have the parts, I just want to go ahead and first minimize this, the parts up here. So while we have the case text, you can see case text, then we have case reasoning, so the reasoning speeder, and now we can put all our different cases in here for our tools. We are going to be putting them here just in a second. Let me just show you the interface, how it looks. This looks very clean. You can select the models you want. You see, you can use R1. I just like Sonnet. I'm just going to say, for example, what is a map? I'm just going to say maybe be precise. Be precise, and ask this, what is a map? And it's going to go ahead and answer this. A map is a symbolic blah blah, and it goes ahead and gives all this. So this would take a lot to build, right? But right now it is actually very easy, right? Right now it is very easy. So the next thing we want to do right now, this is now a normal text, this first one. The user asks and we text, we get back the text from the LLM and we bring it back in here. The second thing we want to build right now, want to build a tool, okay? Want to build a tool. So to build a tool, you can just go here, go back to the AI SDK. Okay, and just going to go here, the AI SDK, and so you can see we have the tool calling. You can just click on the tool calling, and they just have example of a tool. This is what I just want here. Okay, a tool is like this. So yeah, just go ahead and just go to our chat API route. You can see this one has no tool. What it has the model. So we send the model, and by the way, it is very important that you understand how messages are sent forth, and you know how you send messages forth, and you get. You need to know how that one is done. Actually, to demonstrate that, we could just like add another tool which says send me an email or something, and we could call that on our card that that we have. This one has built a very nice card like this, user ID, name, and this. If wanted, we could add a button which says on this that says add to send me an email or something like that, and we could actually do that. Okay, we could actually do that, but for now let's just stick with this one. But this thing here, to understand how this works, we receive the data. After receiving the data, you can see you are a helpful assistant that can answer questions and help with tasks. I'm just going to go here and first add a tool. In fact, let me just first add a tool down here. So this is how we add a tool, and import this tool from AI, and let's also import Zod from Zod, just like this. And now we're just going to say, for example, you are a helpful assistant that help users to register them in database, that helps users to register them in the database. Ask the user to provide you. So we could just like put this prompt in this in the backtick so that we can just make it a marked line. See, so you can just go ahead and do something like that to provide you with the email address. You can just send me here email address, and then you can just say phone number, then the full name, and what else? Email, phone. I think just going to use these three. And so after giving this, if just going to say here only proceed to call the register user tool only if you have all the data. Okay, I'm just going to say here speak to the user in a warm, welcoming tone. Okay, and always be respectful and other things. You can just go ahead and give it. So if chat assistant, we can just even give it maybe Ziggy. You can give it a name that helps users do this. And you can just say let's see the database. and then welcome the user with a greeting, and ask the user to provide you this. So you can just write the prompt the way you want it, and let's go ahead and call the tool which says register, for example. Okay, you can just call the any name you want, for example, register user, any name you want, but this name is going to be important. So this gets the user information and creates a database, creates a user in the system, in the system. So the inputs is what we define here. We have, for example, the name, and this is going to be the full name, the user full name. So just going to need 3, and then here we have like the phone number, and it's going to be described, so the user phone number, and finally we have the email, which the user email. Okay, so we just need those 3 things: the phone, and just name this one as phone, the name, phone, and email. And these are the ones that actually receive here. So the way you put them here, just say name, email, and the phone, just like this. They're the ones you receive in here, and let's go ahead and use them here. So here you could just go ahead and you can do all sorts of things in the execute function. So let's first of all go ahead and run our database. So I will just go in the Prisma schema here very fast, and instead of the category, I'm just going to turn this into a user model. I'm just going to say we need a name, we need an email, which is going to be a unique, and then finally we need the phone, which is also going to be a string, like this. After you have defined this, I'm just going to go ahead and run the migration for this. Stop the server and let's run the migration. Just like this. npx prisma migrate dev -- name in it. Just going to go ahead and run the migration, and then we generate also the so npx prisma migrate. So this server has not been migrated. Migrate dev. So this is going to go ahead and migrate. After migrating, I will run to generate the client, and then I'm going to use this client. We already have here the lib folder, which has the Prisma instance. So this is what we are looking at right now. Just going to wait for it in a second to generate the come on. Sometimes it takes some time, but just fine. It's going to generate this, and then I will run. So applying migrations, nice, clear this. Just going to get clear. I'm just going to run npx prisma generate. So this generates the current client. So after generating that, we go back to our route. So in this, we want to actually first we just want to check. So we could just check if this user exists. Okay, if this user exists, we don't want to create him again. Then if he exists, if he's not existing, then create the user. So if the user exists, we just say late. We could just say late user. Late user equal to n. Why am I not able to use the late? It's supposed to return the execute function. let me see the execute function. Let me just go to, okay, so if you continue here, it's supposed to be like, let's just look at the PowerPoint. My bad. I just want to look at my tool here. Okay, so const temperature is that, then return. Okay, why am I, okay, let me just first try, like, say this. Okay, const user. For some reason, I guess I'm in some mode I don't understand. Async function. Come on. Maybe just it is just like yelling because I haven't done a return or what. So let's say const user is equal here something, and let's just come and say return. Why everything expected something? What is that? Why did he can't find the name user? Something is not right. This is supposed to be an async function. So this is a function. Yes. So you can just just simply it's a function, so you're just supposed to return inside. So we could just say let user equal to, so we're just going to say await, and just going to call the db from Prisma dot user and dot find, and just going to say, you could just say find unique actually, and then we just go ahead and we say where, and we say email is equal to email, you know. And after finding this user, so we just say if so you could just say if no user, so you just say if no user. That means like this is a new one. Then you just go ahead and create, and then you say user is equal to await db dot user and dot create, just dot create, just like so. And then inside we're just going to pass in data, and then this data is our email, name, and phone, just like that. So this creates us and gives us a user. So what we want basically is to return something. So just go ahead and return. So we can return in a very nice way. Whatever you return here is what is going to be the side. So we could just return a message exactly the way you see this information on this card. Your account has been created successfully. So I'm just going to go ahead and return a message that says this, your account has been, and then I'm just going to return this, the user ID, name, all those things. So I'm just going to say here the user ID, which is going to be now user dot ID, then email, which is going to be user dot email, and then name, which is going to be user dot name, like so. So these are like the 4 parameters we need on the card. This is very important that this matches your UI you want to display. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this card. Just go to components, and then we have this register success card. Copy this, and then just going to go to my components and just going to say register card, whatever. register response card.tsx and put this. I don't know if this needs us to install anything. It doesn't. So the most important thing is we have this. So what we need is, if we just go back to the page where we have this case, we can actually put our case. Remember where we have this if statement down here. Here. This is what we put. So you put if part is equal that. So here in the case, since we are using the case, not the if statement, so you can use the if statement or cases. So we're just going to say case, and then we put the name of the tool that we are calling. Okay, so in the case that this is tool, so you just put the name tool. You just say tool, and then you put the name of the tool, and the name of the tool here is this. You need to put the name of the tool, the register user tool, like so. So if this is so, then we can now write our own if statement inside here. We can just write, for example, if, because you see that after writing that if, inside we have so if part type is that, then inside we have another switch actually. So we have switch. We can just come here and we write another switch statement. Okay, switch. So we just start and say if part.state. So here part.state. This is what we are switching about. And the first one is input available. So this is the first case is input. It's going to be input available, and then we can just go ahead, and if this is the case, just go ahead and return the UI. And for this case here, we just what are we returning? Come on. Like a p tag with loading weather. So just say here, like for example, loading, and then just say here, we just say key, which is part dot, I don't know, call tool ID. Let me see, which is like index. I don't know. You can just use the index, the one that they used of that. You can just say index. Do we have the index? First, we just use this part.tool ID, and then down here we can write another case. So just write another case, which is output available, and this is where we put our thing. So just say here case, and we just like putting this output available, and this is where we show our data or our card. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and this is where we want to render our card. Remember, I'm supposed to use the word return, very important, because it's supposed to return the UI. So I'm just going to go here and I say return, and what we just want to return is our registration card. Registration success card, just like this. This card takes in data. So if you look at it, it takes in here, let me just see, it takes in this information. I'm just going to say, okay, I didn't want to put all this. What I wanted is, can we actually accept this as data? Okay, and this would be here. I'm just going to say data is of type this, maybe registration card props. I'm just going to say registration card props, like this. And what I would do is I would just go ahead and do this const, and then destructure this from data. This would be the same, but it helps me here to pass in the key of data, which is going to equal to part, okay, part dot dot output dot. So if you just look at this, we are passing in part dot output. So this is where the thing is. I'm just going to say as register props. They just export the type. So you could just you could even just say as any for now, like if you just don't want to fight with everything. Sorry, you could just go here, fix, and then just say entire file, you know, to do that. And then we have the another case for case output error. So just go here and report another case, and then you say case output error, and then you can just come here and they say return, just returning a p tag of something went wrong. So of course you can just say go ahead and, you know, put the error, and I think that's it. Then we have default, which is return null. So here I don't want to break, just say default return null, just like this. So we have all the cases. How many cases do we have? Oh, this one is just the other outside one. Okay, so we have these two register, and in the two register has all these cases that we need. So this is what we want to do right now at this point, to test out the waters of what is possible right now. So I'm just going to run p npm dev p npm dev, and let's just go here. I'm just going to refresh. Okay, just waiting. Guys, I'm also late for charge. Oh my god. I'm just going to finish this in a second, guys. I hope that you get the whole concept of building this kind of application. So if you have so many tools, the only thing you just have to keep on doing is put these cases. So remember that the tool comes as also a case. So you have case register. Then down here, you would have another case for another tool, another tool, another tool, like that. So you can put all your cases here, all the if statements if you want. So I'm just going to say hello. I want to, you know, to register, just like this. So this will just like give us a home welcome message, like, yeah, so you provide me with. Okay, so you can see hello and welcome. It's wonderful to meet you. I'm Ziggy, and I'm here to help you get registered in our system. I'll make this process quick and easy for you. So to complete, give us your first name and last name. So I'm just going to go ahead, copy these ones, and I just say my name is going to be Mukejan Baptist, and then the number is going to be 078414387 So just going to go even the email address like that. Okay, so to confirm that this data is not there in the database, I always just like want to quickly go and look at the tables and confirm that there is no any entire data that we have right now. So if you just go to our chat YouTube and then you check on the tables, we have only one table, the user, which actually has no any data right now. So what I just want right now is to go ahead and submit this data right now and see if it can pass this data to, and you can see here it says perfect, thank you so much, and you can see that the card is back. So you can see here perfect, thank you so much for providing all the information. Okay, let me get you the system anyways for following details. So it gives you back the details, and Just one moment while I process your registration, and you get the UI now. Registration successful. Your account has been created successfully. And look at this, the ID, the name, the email. We don't get the phone. I don't know why. Did I provide the, or I didn't ask it in the details? I actually gave it the phone, I think. Let's see what data does it come and what we expect here. Okay, guys, this is nice. Let me just check in the DB, just like refresh, and we have our details here. So this is how we build actually this system. So you can just build on this. After the registration, you ask more information. Show me the products, show me this, and then at the end you get the same interface like the one I have. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it, you shared it, and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.